of Rose of Sharon, and especially the Rose of Sharon trees. Oh, you guys, they are easy to grow. They are a prolific bloomer. They are just covered in flowers. And I feel like Rose of Sharon is another one of those plants you just can't kill it. Like you can cut this thing back a million times over and it just keeps on coming. It doesn't want to leave you. It's a, you know, it's the company that always stays too long, never leaves. That's what Rose of Sharon is, but you want that in your garden. This is the variety we call raspberry smoothie.
Right, that's right.
So it is this beautiful pink floral.
Color.
And when I say prolific bloomer, I mean, that's one of the things that Rose of Sharon is known for, right, Katie?
Rose of Sharon, and the unique thing about Rose of Sharon's is the flowers go up and down the stem.
Yes.
And so that's why it not only is it a prolific bloomer, but it looks like it has more flowers than your typical flowering shrub because you're going to get blooms from the inside out.
It fills out the look of a tree better too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, now that you mention it, Rose of Sharon is typically a shrub. This is not growing in tree form. It's very hard to find. So what we've done at Cottage Farm is we've taken the shrub and we've trained it into a tree for you, because we know landscape trees, flowering trees are very special.
Yes.
But summer flowering landscape trees are almost hard, you know, impossible to find.
Yes, right.
And so,
well, especially ones that are hardy, because there are a lot of tropical varieties that you can get, but this is winter hardy, you guys. This is hardy zones 5 through 9. So if you live in colder climates, guess what? This is going to come back year after year. You don't have to pull it into the garage. You don't have to do any of that fussiness. Just let it do its thing. Take care of it, cut it back a little bit in the fall, then don't worry about it, and guess what? Next spring, you're gonna start to see those buds coming out, and when this thing starts to get covered in buds, you aren't gonna believe how many flowers you're gonna get.
I know, and the cool thing about it is you can shape it however you want. We call this a lollipop, but if you want more of a traditional tree shape in your front yard, you can let it be more of that V shape and have it have a bigger appeal like that. So you can just let this tree, it grows to be 10 feet tall.
That's awesome.
Eventually. So this is a big,
10 feet tall, covered in flowers.
Yes, right.
So good.
All summer long.
That's
and
what it looks
look at
like.
these flowers.
Oh,
they
they're
are
gorgeous.
double petaled.
Look at
so
that.
You can tell here how the flowers just completely cover it from top to bottom.
Great.
That's more of that lollipop shape, but you can see, I mean, we all know how nice it looks when you have a flowering tree in your front yard.
Oh, it's
and
great.
I would love 2 of them.
Yes.
Maybe as the entrance to your backyard if you have a gate, or if you have, you know, you get some sun, because these do like part sun, they do like a little bit of sun, so make sure they have a spot that gets some sun. But walking up to your front door, just how gorgeous would those be?
Here's what you need to know. This price is going away in 7 minutes. This easy pay is going away in 7 minutes. We only have about 300 or so of these trees to go around for the rest of the season. So it's, you know, we bring in the trees in small quantities. We can't do as many of the trees as we can, say, the big assortments of the daylilies. These are specialty pieces, but it's a tree, a flowering tree that you will have at your home for years and years and years to come. Look what we're shipping you, right? So can I expect to have some blooms this year, Katie?
Absolutely. Yes, you can.
But it'll really start to fill out next year, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, but look, like you're clearly going to have a growing tree in your yard this summer.
This tree is already 2 years old, and this is about a 5-year-old representation here.
Great.
So, you know, what you can look at is a fast-growing tree, and you will have flowers this year, but year after year, this tree will only be bigger and better in your yard.
They
this
do
tree
get better with
and
age,
it can live
don't they?
40 years. I mean,
Oh
this
my
is a very big investment for your yard, this tree.
Think about that. This is a tree that could live for 40 years. It's $89.64, right? So it's basically $2 a year for the next 40 years.
Yes.
Come on, you spend more than that on a coffee per day. This is an investment in your landscape. This is a tree you plant, and whatever happens with your family, and maybe at some point you downsize, you move away, and your kids go back to visit the house they grew up in, and this tree's still gonna be there.
I love that.
That's what you're spending your money on. I know it's a little more expensive. This is not a rose bush. This is not the daylilies, but it is special. And if you have an area where instead of doing a lot of shrubs or lower flowers, why not plant a tree? put some height in there, put some beautiful color in there. I'm telling you, we have tons of Rose of Sharon at our house. One of my favorite purchases from Cottage Farms of all time was a Rose of Sharon tree, and I had to tear it out when we remodeled the back of our house, and it broke my heart. There was nowhere else I could really put it out there. And I mean, to this day, and I've told you about that, and I used to tell Philip Watson about it all the time. Like, I would just feel like, oh, there's a dagger in my heart when we talk about Rose of Sharon trees, because I loved mine so much.
And that's how people feel about their plants, especially when you've had them for so long and they live in your family. When when I had both of my daughters, I planted trees. And it's something that I hope that if we're not in that home, I never thought about them going back to visit that tree,
and there
knowing that it's the same age as them. So I think that's a really nice thing. If you know somebody who's had a little girl, how perfect to get them this pink tree.
A little raspberry smoothie tree. Never hurt anybody. All right, so M57175. This price goes away at the end of the day. We are about 3.5 minutes away. This Easy Pay goes away at the end of the day. You're 3.5 minutes away from losing that as well. We now have fewer than 300 of these to go around. That's all we have for the rest of the garden season, everybody. It's M57175. Spacing on this, if you want to do more than one of these, about 6 feet apart. Just so you know, if you're gonna put this in a container, and you can grow this in a container, but you want a big whiskey barrel size, like a 24-inch diameter
at least
container is what's gonna be best for a tree like this. And then what about watering and soil and sunlight? What do they want, Katie?
So make sure that it gets at least 4 hours of sun a day. We say part sun or part shade, but sometimes people don't know what that means. So at least 4 hours of sun a day.
Okay.
And like any new plant, you want to give it that water at least once a week when it's a new tree.
Okay.
After that, we've talked about this is a hardy tree. This tree will live on its own. It won't need any care. It won't need any maintenance. This tree will thrive and survive on its own.
It also does well in areas that can be a little bit windy, because those blooms stay on those stalks really well.
Absolutely.
Right?
They're really sturdy stalks, and the double petals will keep their shape and their feel. Absolutely.
Stay on the line if you're dialing in for that. It's M57175. Now we have fewer than 250 of these to go around. We haven't seen a lot of Rose of Sharon trees from Cottage Farms this year, so here's one you definitely want to take advantage of. Katie, thank you.
Thank you so
Always
much,
fun to see you.
You too.
See you next time, all right?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go say hi to my other Katie.
Come on down.
Miss Katie McGee over here.
Every time you said Katie's name, I was like, oh no, wait. Uh-oh, what was I doing?
All right, so we have a quick 30 seconds to say goodbye. How was the chat tonight? How's everybody?
Everybody's good.
Great.
Everybody's loving your top.